You're still here, and you get another chance, this day, to do better, to be better, another chance to become more of who you were created to be and what you are created to fulfill. Everyone in the world is capable of living outside the role, of beyond the roles that they place themselves in, no matter what it is. You're not just a dad, you're not just a banker, you're not just a brother or a son or a convict. It doesn't matter, like everyone is bigger, much bigger, infinitely bigger than the roles that place themselves in and is capable of reaching potential greater than anything they can imagine. Everyone in the world is capable of living outside the role or beyond the role that they place themselves in. You desire, it's right there in front of you. But in order to achieve it, you must first see it. You can live the life. So when you start to focus and you delete distraction from your life, and you start to get seriously invested in doing one thing, staggeringly well, and you practice that one thing over and over, a term to think about is mundane. You do one simple, seemingly insignificant thing every day around your main skill, and it's very mundane, but small daily improvements over time lead to world-class results. Here's what happens in your brain. You start to isolate a single neurocircuit around that skill. And that starts to trigger a certain type of brain cell, called an oligodendrite site, which then releases myelin. Myelin is a fatty tissue that starts to wrap around that single neurocircuit related to that main skill you're practicing. And when myelin starts to wrap around the brain circuit, what happens is you have accelerated learning times, you can see more quickly heightened perception, and you'll learn more quickly. And that is really the quote-unquote secret of the greatness inducers. It's and then you must graciously ask and train your brain to help you execute your vision. So when you start to focus and you delete distraction from your life, and you start to get seriously invested in doing one thing, staggeringly well, and you practice that one thing over and over, a term to think about is mundane. You do one simple, seemingly insignificant thing every day around your main skill, and it's very mundane, but small daily improvements over time lead to world-class results. Here's what happens in your brain. You start to isolate a single neurocircuit around that skill. And that starts to trigger a certain type of brain cell, called an oligodendrite site, which then releases myelin. Myelin is a fatty tissue that starts to wrap around that single neurocircuit related to that main skill you're practicing. And when myelin starts to wrap around the brain circuit, what happens is you have accelerated learning times, you can see more quickly heightened perception, and you'll learn more quickly. And that is really the quote-unquote secret of the greatness inducers. It's not a result of some natural, daily practice, the relentlessness and their grit, their work ethic and their sacrifice. A great life is built not by revolution. A great life is built by evolution. What you do every day is far more important than what you do once every day. Idea what you do every single day so you're crafting your life. What you do over the next hours is really building your future. And if you can just get 24 hours right as best as we humanly can, the rest of our life as small wins matter. The scripture says we will eat the fruit of our words. You are planting seeds when you talk. At some point, you're going to eat that fruit. My challenge is make sure you're planting the right kind of seeds. If you want apples, you have to sow apple seeds. If you want oranges, you can't plant the seeds, poison ivy seeds, mushroom seeds, you're gonna reap fruit from the exact seeds that you've been sown. In other words, you can't expect to live a positive life. You can't expect to have victory. You can't talk can afford it. Never get ahead. If you have a poor mouth, you're going to have a poor life. Like what you're saying. We may not realize it, but we're always feeding ourselves. Listen to people that speeding or go to lunch with people that talk bad about the boss, make fun of a co-worker, put down a friend. They're feeding you gossip, feeding your jealousy, feeding you disrespect. Here's the key. Whatever you is going to grow. You may not like what they're feeding you. You're a nice person. But if you continue to hang around them before long, you'll be gossiping. You'll be critical, you'll be disrespectful. Why? Because you kept feeding the wrong things. If you're always feeding negative thoughts, thinking I'll never get well, I'll never meet the right person, you're feeding mediocrity, feeding fear. If you know exactly what you want to be, you need to spend this much time with people that are actually that already. Fear of comparison or fear of judgment. What's going to make you great? You cannot succeed without this risk of failure. You cannot go out and you must take these risks 20 years ago right now. Better late than never, better late than never. Don't think about time and age so much it gets people distracted when the whole world subscribe. Voice your own ideas, your honesty, your vulnerability. Through this you will find your way. You do not have to be fearless. Just don't let fear stop like this as best you can, and I guarantee you will look back on life. You are capable of greatness in your profession, and more importantly in your quality of self. Stay hungry. Stay young at heart, take those risks. You are going to change the world around you in big ways and in small. Anybody, if you want to go searching for a good plan, pick it and start working it, and sure enough, as the time passes, as it surely will, 5 years from now, 10 years from now, then you'll be winding up weird what you want to wear, driving what you want to drive, living where you want to live, become what you want to become. Now's the time to fix the next. Make a difference, workout program or clean diet. You want to start a business. You want to write a book, or make a movie, or build a house or a computer, together some mobile application. Where do you start? You start right here. And when do you start? You start right now, you initiate aggressively, you go. Please don't forget to like and subscribe.